this is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Today, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious cookie that is only 68 calories. It's a chocolate and pecan macaroon cookie. So let's get started. First, I'm going to melt the chocolate. While I melt the chocolate, I will be beating the egg whites and the salt. I'm going to stick my chocolate into the microwave, and my microwave has a chocolate setting, so I'm just going to set it on the chocolate setting and let it melt while I beat the eggs.
And it's a point to ask the dog to react to.
In this bowl, we're going to dump our egg whites and our salt.
Okay.
We're now going to beat this with the mixer on a fairly high speed until it's frothy. As you can see, that's frothy. Now we're going to continue beating it, but while we beat it, we're going to gradually add this sugar to our egg whites. We're going to start this up. I'm pouring it between the beater and the side of the bowl. And we're just slowly pouring it. Let's see if I can do it over here. So you see us just slowly going in. Not really fast, just slowly pouring it in. We're now going to beat this until it forms soft peaks. So we'll be back in about 5 minutes when it has formed soft peaks. And I'll show you what that looks like. All right, I just turned this off. We're going to check it now and see if it's soft peaks. So when I stick that in there and I lift it up, you'll see it just barely folds over. So that's at the soft peak stage. All right, so we've taken this off at the beater, and I just want to scrape down my meringue. Now to this meringue, I'm going to add my melted chocolate, my pecans, and my coconut. Now what I want to do is I want to just gently fold all this in. So I go down and around. Remember, folding is not a vigorous stir. It's going from the bottom to the top. And I'm going to keep doing this until I see no white streaks. I want it to look all chocolatey. And the reason why we're doing a folding and not a vigorous stir is we don't want to deflate that meringue that we just whipped up. We want to keep that air in it so that this is a nice and airy cookie. Okay, there's still a little bit of white streaks, so we still are folding it, but you'll notice most of the white streaks are gone. And there are no white streaks left. So all we have left to do is we're going to put this onto our jelly roll pans and then cook them. When I do cookies, I like to use an ice cream scoop. Now this ice cream scoop is the size of 1 tablespoon. So what I'm going to do is I just make sure this is level. See how I put it in there and I made sure it was level, and then I just put it on here. And I want to put each cookie about an inch apart so there's room if it spreads. So I'm going to keep putting these cookies on here, and I actually want to cook 2 pans at a time. The reason I want to do 2 pans at a time, in fact I want to do all the batter at a time, is because after this cooks, it sits in the oven for about a half an hour. And so we don't really want any batter left because we can't use our oven to cook the other. So there I have 1 pan, and I may have to move these if the others don't fit here. But there I have 1 pan. So let me move that pan aside. And let me fill this pan. I'm going to try to put these ones a little bit closer because I think I have that much batter left. Okay, this last one is going to be just a little bit smaller. I'm going to go ahead and scrape the extra off to add to it. Now that I have my pans full, I'm going to put them in the oven. I've moved the racks so none of them are centered. One is in the top third of the oven and one is in the bottom third of the oven. We're going to cook this at 350 degrees. And we're going to cook it for about 12 minutes. Okay, so let me show you how I have it in the oven. So you'll notice I have it in the top third and the bottom third. So we're going to stick 1 rack on each shelf. And then we're going to cook this for 12 minutes. We'll be back in 12 minutes when this is done, and I'll show you what we need to do then. The timer just dinged, so now we're going to look at these and we want to touch and see if they're set. So when I touch this, it's soft, it's hard. So what I want to do is I want to turn the oven off, and I'm going to put this door so it's ajar. You'll see that it's just opened. And it's going to sit like this for a half an hour before we take the cookies out. So we'll be back in a half an hour when the cookies have sat in there. The cookies have been sitting in the oven for a half an hour with the oven ajar like this. Now we're going to take these cookies out. They're still a little bit warm. So I'm going to use a hot pad. We're going to take these out. And we're going to put these on a cooling rack and let them cool the rest of the way. We have the cookies on the cooling rack so that there's air flowing all the way around. We're going to let them come completely to room temperature. Then if you want, you can sprinkle some powdered sugar over the top, or you can have them just like this. So we'll be back to show you when they are completely cool. The cookies are completely cool, so I'm getting ready to serve them. So what I want to do is put just a little bit of powdered sugar into this sifter or strainer and just sprinkle it over the top of them. Now this is optional, you don't have to do this, but it just adds that little bit of sweetness to it. Now we're ready to plate these cookies and they're ready to serve. Here are our chocolate and pecan macaroons. Make some today at only 68 calories. Guilty pleasure for when you're on a diet. This is Nadine with DIY Sweets. Enjoy and happy baking.